Hello and welcome to So Bad It's Good. On today's show, we watched Batman and Robin.
Found the Batcave.
She knows who we are.
Guess we'll just have to kill her.
Yep. Batman and Robin.
This film was long.
I got you!
Oh no.
God. I hope they die.
But also seem to be full of nothing.
I can see it now. Your own big, bright signal in the sky.
The duo go after a new foe in Mr. Freeze, who has been stealing diamonds to power his suit, which he needs to wear because of an unfortunate workplace accident.
All right, everyone, chill.
Apparently he says 27 ice puns throughout this film.
He bangs them out.
He does. First 5 minutes, he's packed them in as well.
The Iceman cometh. You are not sending me to the cooler. I'm afraid that my condition has left me cold. To your pleas of mercy. I've killed the dinosaurs. The Ice Age. Freeze well.
There were some puns that made it into the trailer that didn't make it into the film itself.
Oh,
when you got puns for days.
At least the Schwarzenegger cut.
Bundle up, boys. There's a storm coming.
He's looking for a cure to McGregor's syndrome, which is a disease that afflicts his wife. The suit that he's wearing cost about $1 million, over $1 million to make. Wow. Was made by an armourer who does sort of all this kind of stuff for film and TV and whatnot. But apparently he then took it home.
I wouldn't say it looked like it cost $1 million, though. Like,
no.
It's kind of interesting. I wouldn't say it was cool, excusing the pun. I would say some of the weird lighting on it, you're like, that just looks like you put a little LED in there.
He had to wear LEDs in his mouth.
Oh, why?
Yeah.
Gotta get the shot.
It's not, though. It's not worth it. That ain't worth that, I don't think.
At Wayne Enterprises lab in Brazil, botanist Dr. Pamela Isley is working under the deranged Dr. Jason Woodrue, who is experimenting with a drug called Venom. John Glover had said that before every scene, Joel Schumacher would say, "Remember, this is a cartoon." And that whole bit with him demonstrating the Venom series
to all the villains of the world all watching.
Throw some Hispanic-looking communists in there and some Arabs and things, and there you go. That's the world's evil.
Tick.
According to Joel Schumacher in the 90s. She witnesses Woodrue use the formula to turn serial killer Antonio Diego into hulking monstrosity, who he dubs Bane. There is nothing interesting about this Bane at all.
It's just a big fat bloke in a mask, isn't it?
With turbo mode.
Turbo mode.
God.
Yeah.
Come and get me, if you can.
Oh, turbo mode.
Isley threatens to expose Dr. Woodrue's experiments, but he kills her with a shelf full of poison. Oh, she doesn't die, obviously, because this is a comic book, so she just transforms into the beautiful and seductive Poison Ivy.
If they spent $1 million on Arnold Schwarzenegger's suit, they spent a $5 on Uma Thurman's, because she had those shit plastic vines that just wrapped around her fingers and was like, oh, I've got like, I bet she saw Arnie on the first day and went, wow, that's impressive. What's mine gonna look like?
And then they come out with a Kermit green onesie leotard.
She finds that Wayne Enterprises funded Woodrue, but have now pulled said funding, so Poison Ivy concocts a plan to use Wayne's money to support her research and goes to Gotham City with Bane.
Gotham Observatory, Bane. And step on it.
During a Wayne Enterprises charity event, Batman and Robin capture Mr. Freeze.
Oh my god, it's like a game-winning pose.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, yo! No way!
That was a sick trick shot.
You have my dick in your ass. Little fucking prick.
And he's locked up at Arkham Asylum, but he's later freed by Poison Ivy after she strikes a partnership with him.
His name is Bane.
A laundry service that delivers. Wow!
Then Alfred's niece, Barbara Wilson, makes a surprise visit and is invited by Bruce to stay at Wayne Manor until she goes back to school.
Barbara, I hope you'll stay with us.
Oh, I don't know. All this luxury really isn't my style, but, yeah, I'd love to.
She won a Razzie for this.
She did.
For Worst Supporting Actress.
She did, which that's weird because as you say, I don't think her performance is bad.
No, it's
just
not.
nothing-y.
The theme of this film, nothing.
Key.
He's just gone to bed. Why are you sneaking out? Just walk out the door.
She's up to no good.
She started making trouble in the neighbourhood.
Yeah, she got into one little fire. And the mum got scared.
So she moved to Gotham.
She moved to Gotham with your old Uncle Albert.
Alfred.
Robin discovers that she's also been participating in drag races to raise money for Alfred, who it turns out is dying of McGregor's syndrome, which is what Freeze's wife has.
My only regret is that I was never able to be out there with you.
And then they put him in a suit and
Yeah.
send him out.
He is beating the shit out of him. He just dies.
Barbara discovers the Batcave when AI version of Alfred informs her that he's made her own Batsuit.
Uncle Alfred, it's me, Barbara.
I expected you might find your way down here, child. As such, I programmed my brain algorithms into the Bat computer and created a virtual simulation.
But yeah, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, but this is 97 though, isn't it? So, I mean, he's just...
I programmed my brain algorithms into a computer.
That doesn't really mean anything. it's just bamboozling science nonsense. So she can become Batgirl.
Caring uncle chucking her into crime fine.
You're about to become compost.
She then later reveals her identity to Batman and Robin because they're dumbstruck. They can't figure it out.
And you are?
Bruce, it's me, Barbara.
No!
Fuck you. It's me, Barbara.
Yeah, but in theory, this is a world that doesn't understand that Clark Kent is Superman just because he wears glasses.
Did she die by falling into the plant that she was just sitting in?
Yeah.
Is that actually how she goes?
I don't know why, because I thought plants were her friends.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we missed something
or if they cut something out.
What would have been smart is if they had got a reverse toxin. Chris O'Donnell would have stabbed it into
some kind
the
of
plant.
weed killer.
Well, or just messes with the plants, makes them
Yeah.
aggro. It attacks her,
Yeah.
and she's in shock because
Yeah, like
but
a
you don't
frenzy.
get any of that. She just leans back and it collapses on her like some shit production of Little Shop of Horrors, and it's just like, oh, this was awful.
Batgirl and Robin eventually defeat Bane by detaching his venom tubes.
No.
Batman then defeats Freeze in combat.
Hey, Freeze. The heat is on.
While Batgirl and Robin manage to thaw the city, Batman then asks Freeze for the cure that he has created for McGregor's syndrome to administer to Alfred.
So I'm asking you, Victor Freeze.
Will you marry me? And Freeze decides to atone for his sins by giving him the medicine. An insane Ivy is then imprisoned at the Arkham Asylum with a vengeful Freeze as a cellmate who vows to make her life a living hell of winter. So did Batman just set her up?
Yeah, that's awful.
He's like the corrupt guard who's just given the guy a shank and just said, go on then. Alfred is cured, and everyone agrees to let Barbara stay and fight crime with them. The end.
I don't mind it going campy, right? I would
It's
actually
very
say,
Adam West.
what? And I don't think that is the problem with this.
Tonight's forecast. A freeze is coming.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think, is one of the funniest things in this.
Yeah, apparently I think he got paid about 25 million. Old Schwarzenegger.
Him and Uma Thurman, they're the only two who seem like they had any fun on this.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Like everyone else just seems a bit like, this is rubbish.
Yeah.
You and Meatloaf, retrieve my wife.
You never said anything about a wife.
Come on!
Joel Schumacher had said he wanted to lean in to
yeah.
the campiness of it. It's like George Clooney wasn't aware of that because he just comes off as boring.
Yes.
That lab burned to the ground last week. I'm glad you managed to escape.
Stay cool, bird boy.
George Clooney plays Batman in this sack of shit.
Try not to make a mess when you die.
That's an awful shot.
Every shot of him's been awful.
Yeah, I think he's probably done literally what he was told to do and not really added anything to it. And what comes across is a really boring Bruce Wayne and Batman.
It's very tough to be comfortable as Batman. You kind of have to cop a different kind of attitude. You have to cop this extremely confident, invulnerable kind of man.
I don't like this Batman.
Who invited you?
I was just hanging around.
I thought you were going to stay in the museum, round up some thugs.
How about nice to see you? Glad you're here to save my life.
You're an ungrateful bitch, Batman.
Batman is boring and
Yeah.
he's clumsy.
Sorry, my vines have a crush on you.
Oh my god,
He's such a noob, isn't he?
He's shit. He's such a shit Batman.
Batman's afraid that Robin's going to get hurt and die.
Pull back.
I can make it!
Redbird control codes.
Disable engine.
Robin's saying, you've got to trust me. Batman has worked alone for a long time, and all of a sudden he's introducing someone into his life. He's lost two very important people to him at a very young age that has clearly hurt him psychologically.
You must learn to trust him, for that is the nature of family.
And that could be a really interesting dynamic to play with, but not in this film.
For what is Batman, if not an effort to master the chaos that sweeps our world? An attempt to control death itself.
Robin gets frozen by Mr. Freeze, and then that sort of allows Freeze to escape because Batman's trying to deal with Robin.
Batman has time.
Why didn't Batman just go after him? Yeah. Maybe he was so shocked about Robin.
You got 11 minutes.
You have 11 minutes to thaw the bird.
He's gonna... No way!
Unfreezes him in 30 seconds, could have gone straight out the wall.
Because when you warm water up, it turns red. And then they sort of play into it again later at points, sort of fighting over poison ivy.
But it's all done over through the poison ivy thing, isn't it?
Like fly traps and Venus fly traps, and they will emit a pheromone that will attract flies to them, and then they slip in and die.
Like a woman's vagina!
They end up starting to argue about who she fancies the most, and it's like, you've muddled the waters here. It's no longer about trusting me and not messing.
Yeah,
it's more about I fancy her.
She has us fighting over her somehow.
Look, here's what I know. She loves me and not you, and it's driving you crazy.
Are they fighting because there is tension between them, or are they just fighting because they're both being a bit thinking where their penis is?
Case is too advanced, but maybe someday, with more research.
They both get erections.
You just hit something stunk against the glass.
Yeah, not even against the glass, just against the inside of their cod pieces.
Yeah.
It reaches its peak when they start arguing after they get beaten by Bane and Poison Ivy.
Just run over to get chokeslammed. Is that my turn?
Robin gets furious with him, and I think Robin goes to swing a punch, doesn't he? And then Batman just trips him up and just puts him into this ooze of avocado.
Given how often people fall in vats of something and turn into something else in these fucking things, he's taking a chance there. Maybe he knew it was just his, Wayne Enterprises guacamole.
Maybe he thought Robin would come out more interesting. George Clooney is quite vocal in his dislike of this film.
Didn't you apologise to the crowd at Comic-Con for Batman and Robin? I always apologise for Batman.
He also apologised to Adam West when he met him, saying, I should never have been Batman.
I actually thought I destroyed the franchise.
George Clooney has also called this film a waste of money.
I mean, I'm with him on all of it. He's right.
We must comment on this is the first Batsuit to ever feature nipples.
Oh, this is Nipples suit, isn't it? Oh, it is.
What are your thoughts on his nipples?
I cannot fathom an idea as to why someone thought this was a good idea.
It's a suit of armour. It's not his body.
Yeah, it's not his body forming it.
No.
Could you imagine some medieval drama where you see some knight come out in his suit of armour and he's got feckin' nipples on it?
I had no idea that putting nipples on the bat costume were going to be international headlines.
Oh, we did have the conversation when we were watching it, didn't we, about whether or not the nipples were actually in the nipple.
Yeah, they have to be.
I mean, do they?
Yeah, you plant them in.
That's how you get in the suit first, chest first, and then the rest of it all just around you. Yeah.
You know, it wasn't so much the nipples for me as it was the codpiece. I didn't think twice about it. Although now I kind of look back in some of the pictures and I'm like, that is a little unusual, I suppose.
This film was made and pushed for to sell toys and stuff like that, right?
Joel Schumacher said at points that the studio pushed him to make it more toyetic.
So do you think that marketing went, look, we've noticed that toys with nipples sell way better than toys without nipples? So we would like you to put nipples on Batman.
The first one, I felt like I was making a movie. The second one, I felt like I was making a toy commercial.
Chris O'Donnell plays Batman. He doesn't play Batman.
No, he wishes.
Tired of living in your shadow.
Chris O'Donnell plays Dick Grayson / Robin in this film.
It's the hockey team from hell.
Oh.
I suppose he's marginally more interesting than Batman in this film.
It's not a bat light, it's a robin signal. Ivy's calling me.
She's infected us with some sort of pheromone extract.
Oh, is that what it is, Bruce? I'm under some kind of magic spell?
She wants to kill you, Dick.
He's trying to assert himself. He's trying to make his mark as a superhero. I quite liked his suit, old Robin's suit. I guess that's the only thing I'd say about it, really.
Yeah.
It looks like the Nightwing costume. Alicia Silverstone plays Barbara Wilson / Batgirl in this film.
She shouldn't have been in it.
She shouldn't have been in it.
It's not her. Nothing on her. But what a pointless character to be in this.
In this mode of making a more family-friendly, more kid-friendly movie, to give maybe little girls more of an access into Batman.
She just adds time to this in no significant or insightful way.
Using feminine wiles to get what you want, trading on your looks. Read a book, sister. That passive-aggressive number went out long ago.
The press really went after her, and there was a lot of body shaming to the point where they started calling her fat girl.
Jeez.
What
year was this film?
This was released in 97.
97.
Such playground.
Different world, isn't it?
Bullshit. It's just
utter
so
nonsense.
Oh look, there's fat girl. It's so ridiculous.
I read that it was either during shooting she had put on a few extra pounds. I mean, I say a few extra pounds. She doesn't look like she's not fat.
No,
she's not
there's
even
not one
remotely
moment
close to fat. The other story that I'd read is that it was an in-joke in the art department, not because she was fat, but because it was quite an effort to get into the suit. And some artists had made a drawing of her struggling to get into the suit, and then that drawing got out and it was turned into this, she got fat so she couldn't get into the suit anymore. She decides to go off and compete in these street races which she gets from Coolio, trying to earn some money for Alfred, which is ridiculous because this man that Alfred has raised since a child, since he was orphaned, who just so happens to be a billionaire, why doesn't she just go to him and say, Alfred's really sick?
He'd have said, I'll set up a whole charitable foundation for the thing.
Yeah, I'll start a research department for you. Or whatever.
What does he need? Oh, here's 3 million.
Yeah, just in my pocket.
I'm gonna take him away from this dismal life of servitude.
Just doesn't serve any
Got to sell those
purpose.
Batgirl toys.
Yeah. With nipples. Do they have nipples? Does she have nipples?
I don't think she does, no.
No, because that would
have sold more more toys.
The only two people left in the world.
Yes. Adam and Evil.
Oh. I didn't mind that, to be fair.
Arnold Schwarzenegger plays Victor Freeze / Mr. Freeze.
The only real reason to watch this.
Joel then turned to me and said, if you decide not to do it, I will not direct the movie. I only can do this movie if you play Mr. Freeze.
Very surprised at how entertaining I found him in this, given what my previous perception of him in this film was.
Your emotions make you weak. That's why this day is mine. I'll kill you next time.
Why not kill him now?
Because he's got to go.
What?
People to freeze, Tom. Puns to make.
Sylvester Stallone was considered for this role as well, and third choice, Hulk Hogan was considered as well.
You know what? I'm glad they didn't go with Sylvester Stallone. However, Hulk Hogan in this.
Hulk, yeah, the Hulk.
I know he's not a good person, but I would have liked to have seen his Mr. Freeze. I was so excited when I knew Bane was going to be in this.
Yeah,
I
same.
remember as a child going, "Oh my god, Bane, that's awesome!" Because he can physically destroy Batman.
Yeah.
Like we've had Penguin, who's he's got the quacks, and then you've got Joker, who's all fun and games, but he's not a physical threat. And it was like, oh, we got Bane. There's going to be cool fights, and
yeah.
This was the shit they give us.
In the comics and in other depictions of Bane is a very smart, intelligent, savvy character who also happens to be incredibly strong. And he's just a Hulk.
Boys, please, let's show some gusto.
So do you want to have a stab at what the budget for this was?
I'm going to go wild and say that it was something like 100 million.
I'm going to say it's 60-ish million.
It was $160 million.
That's our two guesses combined.
Yeah. Have a guess at what it took at the box office.
160 million.
No, I couldn't have. I can't believe it. I'm going to say 80 mil.
It made $238 million.
Jesus Christ.
It was the third highest opening weekend of 1997, and I think was Warner Brothers' highest grossing film that year.
I hate when people talk during the movie.
As a So Bad It's Good, it gets nothing.
Oh.
It's not. It's just too boring.
And then Gotham will be mine for the greening.
Fucking hell, man. And I'm sure you could find a 5-minute clip on YouTube that's just got every one of Schwarzenegger's puns in it.
Probably.
And that's all you need. That's all you need from this film, because everything else is an absolute waste of time and you shouldn't bother with it.
He's in a fridge. They put him in a fridge.
I'm going to give it 1 star. I think it's interesting enough for the first half.
2 nights ago, Gotham Airport. These two are...
And then it really drags. And by the end of it, it's dragged a lot.
How are you? Good. It's just a bit boring, isn't it?
I will probably give this half a star, and that's mostly just for Arnie and a little bit of Uma Thurman.
Just a little bit.
I wonder which bit.
It seems to go as low as it's humanly possible to be bad as a film without them becoming entertaining.
So Batman and Robin gets 1.5 stars.
So if you liked this and have made it this far, click the button, subscribe to it, ding the bell, share it with your friends, tell everyone you know, tell people you don't know.
If you want to help us keep doing this and give us the I don't know. Give us a fisting.
What is this?
Yeah. If you want to give Tom a fisting, then like and subscribe.
Please give us a like.
It could probably be arranged.
Yeah, and if you don't want to give me a fisting, it's also like give it a like.
Oh, yeah, it's not. You're not contractually obliged.
No, I'm not coming round and.
If you prefer, maybe just.
I'm getting horrible images of opening the door to you, and then.
Did you like the video?
You then you present yourself ready for what you'd promised.
Like and subscribe, and then leave a comment underneath to ask whether or not Tom did indeed get the fisting that we've discussed.
I mean, I feel like...
I don't know if I want those comments.
I was about... When you said that, I was like, well, yeah, the fisting's not going to make it into a video. But no, we've kind of made it into enough of a thing that I don't think you can ignore it now.
No, it's like Batgirl. You can't cut her out now.
No, you can't.
Fisting's in. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.